At the Federal Medical Center, Umuahia, the wife of the governor of Abia State, Mrs. Priscilla Otti, who is always available to support the vulnerable in society, visited a victim of domestic violence, Mrs. Amarachi Lawrence, whose eyes were plucked off by her husband, Mr. Chukwunyere Lawrence, and currently receiving treatment at the hospital. Our correspondent, Sally Anyaso, completes the report.
Mrs. Otti, who was accompanied by the Commissioner for Poverty Alleviation and Social Development, Mrs. Blessing Felix, to Bethlehem Ward, FMC, where the victim was receiving treatment, condemned the act and other domestic violence, maintained that her office will not rest in the fight against gender-based violence until it is brought to a barest minimum. She also said that the visit is part of her efforts to support the vulnerable in society and to equally raise awareness against dangers of domestic violence and its cankerworm. Mrs. Otti, who used the opportunity to call on Abians to be vigilant and feel free to report any suspicious activities to the State Gender-Based Violence Response Team, CAM State Working Group, through the Ministry of Women Affairs, maintained that her interest is to ensure that the welfare of Abians, especially women and children, are protected, while promising to aid the victim, Amarachi, to recover as she made a cash donation.
This is a very terrible case of violence, I would say attempted murder. It is by the grace of God that the victim is still alive, and we are definitely putting everything in place, and that's why I had to make this visit to come and see for myself, and we're taking immediate action to support her and ensure that she's well and her recovery is okay, and subsequently also follow through and make sure that she's protected and taken care of. And I can assure you of government commitment to tackle cases like this. As a result of this case happening, we are resolved to make sure that we have a very functional gender-based response team, which we are going to be making available to the public, so that victims can easily report cases like this even before it escalates to this level.
In her speech, the Chief Nursing Officer, Mrs. Aisha Onyemobi, who confirmed the incident, appreciated the wife of the governor, Mrs. Otti, for the visit and reported that the victim is responding to treatment. In their separate speeches, the chairman, Neighborhood Ata Emedi Beku, as well as an eyewitness, Mary Jane Wiwu, who doubles as the landlady of both the victim and the suspect, who the suspect equally used machete on, expressed surprise at the sudden change of the suspect's attitude and prayed God to heal Amarachi Lawrence.
From every indication, we gathered that she has been living in good terms with the husband. Before one of the neighbors, he told one of the neighbors that they have no issue for the past 2 years. They got married, and we are told that the young kind encouraged him and told him that he wants to take him to somewhere in Abia, a prayer house. And that was after he came back from the prayer house and did some sacrifices. They told him to go with egg, cola, Igbo cola, and all the rest to just a small stream behind our estate there. And after the sacrifices, he came back and became abnormal. So, but as it may, we thank God that at least the woman is even alive to speak, and the so-called man has been arrested. But one thing that is giving me concern is that the kind that led him to that prayer house, we arrested him, and I was told today that he has been released, and I will be pleased if the authorities can take note of that, because I think he should be the main culprit.
Yes, exactly.
So we really appreciate your coming, and the estate people are happy. We are happy with you. Our prayers is that such a thing will not repeat itself again. Amen. That is our prayer, and we also wish her quick recovery.
Travel, we are women conference. Then I now came back on Thursday. We on Friday. Ya kwa ebe 8, ahụ ma Amarachi Nadia. Ma akpọ ya na phone, John Elebega. Ya sị na ọ gara carry night. Si ya jiri kwa ya sị Nadia ga sidewalk. I was living there alone with them. My children, they are in school. I now closed the gate. Saturday morning, I went to the market. Then I went now with the husband. The husband from the morning is here now. Play with the phone, tea night here. I'm going to do the go here. When you see man or guy in it. My girlfriend went in Gada. That's a morning, welcome. We are no that. Bam, now come up. Morning, welcome. So no what about yes in there. My banner, the more by shows. Banner kitchen. Around after 10, unlike me, I like 8:30 in the morning because of the job I handle it. So that I wake up early. But we were 10. Him na losing. Odogu. I said, what did I going to do with him? Now I need to be before. I know we had a baby comfort this kind of language. Okode. Man, I was in my own apartment. Man, you baby, she don't believe any brother, this family, this that I reject it. Man, you baby. Around 11:12, I now went to my bedroom. And then I baby. Man, the restless. Me will handkerchief Keshan. How we came home, I couldn't. Mom no go change the job, no matter what is going on. Around after 1, this lady will be shout to her, Mommy, Ebola mo. When I shout to her, me pay my kitchen line, me pay the door, me see the window room, me pick out one, no, like this guy, no, like this, no, bigger order. Whatever. No. When the band no dogo, or maybe the way this girl, no. Bao shot was the last stretch. Oh, the poem. Betty Damoya, Loris the Pozo. Let us see a book of Mateo. After Pramantala, Ola has so much sweat more. Big on the Pozo. Or two for no Magana gate. Now Pazina gate. Late. I say, who is a football? They will mad. In our Bible, only about fence about shows. Or one year for them. My be alive, na dog yawa. Na paloya, we have Kazona palo. I want to go to Yakana for this boy, woman. You don't mind this boy each. Anya got this car, Oku. I'm going to Kashitana, who will the party. You will my nishi, you rakati, Jesus. That what on me about. Most of the woman, my talk and manahaya. Madana, they will resume my fault on me about. And then you never will. Most of the to say, Mamma, kitchen, ya to meet Jesus. Mamma, she was. If you are going to last time I follow Wilma. Now, man, I couldn't do Paloma. You know, why is the moon of Panama? And it is Jesus. No, the food for my mom and I feel some man while I'm this night, or while I'm Jesus. That's all Mamma organized the book as a lahoma. That's so little, so never. You are not a Tanab moving. You are in my own. God bless me witness. I will go to my husband, to my mom. Mama, on the beggar, come now, but in normal. I'm not going to go to see how my guy gave me. My son gave me. My mom, the second daughter, no school. There are no life for holidays. Also, we only throw me at school. I like good mom. One on that, he was the food. Was in the church, I've been a main road. If I did security, I have this security, I have behind a base. Almost 9, when they keep bashing the guy also. Towards me. One after and I shout to see, Lady, you will let me go landlady, you will let me go landlady. No giant desire, like desire, have a poison against Campo. Master so much was outside, Hannah Kazaki, the printer. By then, this lady had told her for her, she had a room. Almost such a one pocket in the Mola. When she was a fellow around for Tanzania, water. Mama doesn't, and I hate to go, mommy, not going. Mama, in danger anymore. Go to the moment when you be concert. See how many times you get ready. When you get ready, I was near the poison. Don't mind about the wine, the Bafta Sanabaya, the Priscilla, and Priscilla, or the war. I was in a hospital.
Responding on behalf of the victim, the sister, Ijeoma Okpokri thanked the wife of the governor for her kind gesture and prayed God to continue to bless her and her family. The wife of the governor, who later visited the traditional ruler of Emedi Beku, Eze Alan Okpokiri, commended the community for their prompt response, which, according to her, contributed to saving the life of Amarachi Lawrence, and urged them to continue with their community policing. In his response, the traditional ruler of Emedi Beku, Eze Alan Okpokiri, commended Mrs. Otti for kind-heartedness, promised that the community will continue to support the present administration led by the governor, Dr. Alex Otti.